Oh, sick. So I logged in and I just saw the 7 days patron twice. That was from the test server. So that's cool. Do the coins just automatically get consumed or something? I guess they just adds 1 day a patron to your account. Check the patron tab in the store for details. Weird, because it didn't put it in my inventory or anything. So I guess it's just auto consume. Anyways. What is up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? We are back in some more and today I thought we would kind of do a little bit of a change of pace because I wanted to kind of clue you guys in on what's been going on with life and all that stuff. Most of all, just because it's been a while since we had one of these videos. I wanted to kind of let you guys know like what my plans were, what's going to be going on in the following months and so on and so forth. Oh, double star bar. Nice. So most of this is just going to be off the cuff. So it is going to be a bit of a rantier video, but I don't know. I mean, suffice to say, I do like to do these from time to time, and it has been a while since we had the last one. We're going to talk about real life stuff, break the fourth wall with the channel and so on and so forth. But let's first and foremost talk about the new Trove update because you know, I ended up making enough videos on it so far to kind of talk about everything. The one thing that I would like to probably make a video on would be the cost of the gems to upgrade them. But I don't know if we have that finalized. If one of you guys already has like a notepad or something that has like all of the gems, you know, cost with the mystic sparks and so on and so forth, please send it my way, because the initial one that showed all of the lesser gems cost and then all the empowered gems were pretty much just all the same for every level, that changed. So the empowered gems are actually like way more expensive. But anyways, the update overall, I think is pretty cool. You know, it had its issues, but I think that it was implemented quite well. Most of all, like, you know, everyone was all worried about the 10th life item, which for those of you that are out of the loop, basically like when you upgrade your gems into Mystic, from level 30 and up, it's going to require a bunch of new resources, including Mystic Gem Sparks and also a 10th life instead of a 9th life, which is a gem booster item. You know, this stupid thing right here. And everyone was really worried, and then they made it so that it was a 1-to-1 exchange rate. You can only craft 15 of the 10th lives per week though, so in a way it makes the gems time gated, which I'm okay with, because at the end of the day, guys, if I'm being perfectly honest, the way that you prepare for that update is just getting all of the gem dust so that you can get enough mystic sparks, which cost 20 crystal sparks of every gem dust type. You just gotta get enough of those to level up your cosmic gems. Literally all the other elemental gems barely make a difference at the end game. It's like 1% more damage. It's actually stupid because light is the only stat that really matters, and that's only on the cosmic gems. But for those of you that I have been talking to that have been prepping for the new update, frankly speaking, there's not really, like, you shouldn't burn yourself out getting ready for the new update, because when the new update drops, we're going to end up having new gem boxes that commonly drop crystal gems, which means that like our gem dust days, our days of having gem dust problems are going to be completely over with. Outside of, again, the most difficult thing is going to end up being the mystic spark. Like, it's still going to be very expensive to level up those gems. I know it's going to take me a long time to get a full set of max gems on even just a physical class, let alone like a magic set as well. But I'm really excited about it just because when I do get my cosmic gems maxed out, as you've seen in my other videos, it means that we can finally start soloing the depths, which means that I can finally actively grind towards mystic gear, which is cool because as of right now, like I've avoided mystic gear ever since it came out, just because the way that you get it is pretty atrocious. You need to basically grind like tons and tons of dungeons in D15, 5-star dungeons to be exact, not normal dungeons, which is the fun part of the game. But you also have to grind a lot of delve portals. It's a specific portal in the delves that has like specific resources, and more importantly is so difficult that you have to have a group of solid players. And unfortunately, you know me, I kind of just log in whenever I can. I mean, I've always been that way, but especially now that, you know, I'm a father, it's like, I can only really log on like from 9 p.m. my time and up, because otherwise the wife's at work for most of the day and I'm taking care of the baby, so on and so forth. We'll get into all of that stuff, including where the next vlogs are at, I know. But the last big thing I wanted to mention, just because I've talked about it in streams and so on and so forth, is what's going to be the release date of the update. I'm going to assume it's in a week or two. As far as I know, the test server is still online. Maybe it just went offline recently, which tells me that very unlikely that we would get the update the first week of September. I would assume it's going to be within the second week of September. But that's just a guess, who knows what'll happen. Speaking of live streams, I am still in the process of making live stream highlights. So you guys know how I was making highlight videos where I would basically take my stream content and maybe cut it down into the parts that mattered. So I will, full transparency, the clips that I have for previous streams is like maybe a month or two old by now. I got really behind because, the test server came up and I immediately had to start prioritizing it. But here's the thing. It's okay that I'm going to be posting those videos because the majority of you, don't end up catching the live streams, or more importantly, the streams are just too long and you're busy day to day. So these highlight videos kind of serve as almost like a traditional Let's Play video where it just focuses on very specific topics and stuff that I think was interesting enough to bother clipping. But the thing is, even if it's older video footage, you might be like, what the heck? This is from 2 events ago. It doesn't really matter because the context of what I'm talking about is not time sensitive. So a lot of times it'll just be me talking about broad stroke questions that I get during my live streams, how do you get Mystic Gear? Or how do you level up efficiently, for example? And I might have responded to that in a live stream, and then I can, turn that into a shorter video. This way we kind of get the best of both worlds, where Trove is still actively on the channel every day, even though realistically, if I wasn't doing those Trove shorts, the stream highlights and so on and so forth, it basically means that I would just have Trove content when I'm playing the game. And if I'm being honest, I kind of been dialing it back a little bit since I got everything done on the test server and kind of experienced everything I wanted to experience within that update. I'm not going to grind anything on the test server, never have, never will, because it's the test server. I want to experience all of that when it's live because it's not finalized on the test server. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying that when the updates go live on the test server in the first place, I'm not against streaming it and so on and so forth. But anyways, I digress. Let's switch topics. So I guess the next thing would just be real life stuff, or in particular, I guess the vlogs first and foremost. So I do have footage for the next vlog set up and ready. I have to edit it. I haven't started yet because, as I mentioned, the Trove test server coming online instantly became a priority for me over everything else. For the few of you that are still checking out the vlogs, I appreciate it. But for those of you that might have jumped ship, trust me, I am putting in a lot of effort to make the vlogs more interesting. So whereas the vlogs previously was me just kind of recording little clips throughout my day, and then that ended up eventually devolving into me recording clips telling you about my day rather than showing you my day. Now we're going to be moving on to the next step, which is me recording when there's something worth talking about or when there's something interesting happening. Because it was just way too much for me to constantly try and keep up with the vlogs and stuff. And I've low-key been taking a bit of a break and having them on the back burner right now. That's why I have the footage, I just haven't committed to actually editing it yet, because I kind of have in the back of my mind, the vlogs were becoming very stressful for me to try and manage them. And so I need to take some time to recuperate. And then once I start editing them and start realizing, oh, these are much easier to edit now because there's a lot fewer clips. I might end up recording one little clip a week now that will slowly end up becoming a vlog. Whether the vlogs become a weekly thing, a monthly thing, I don't know, but I'm gonna try and hopefully make them shorter. But at the same time, the longer I take to edit the next vlog means that the next vlog is going to be longer, because otherwise it's going to actually be irrelevant information because it is time sensitive. A lot of it is time sensitive, but that's where I'm trying to kind of move away from that with the vlogs, because the journey of Leon's life doesn't matter when I upload those, as far as I'm concerned. But I do know that as a new parent, I'm going to dote over my beautiful son. and record everything that I think is interesting. And so I'm kind of trying to think from the viewer's perspective, where it's like, you know, it's not as personal for you guys seeing baby Leon, you know, doing everything in his day to day. And so long story short, you'll see like, oh, he's evolving, like he's sitting up now, or he's kind of getting the hang of moving forward while he's crawling. You know, things like that will show up in the vlogs over time, because I've got like clips of it and everything like that. But as far as just, hey guys, I'm recording Trove now for the day, you know, and recapping actual just boring, mundane day-to-day stuff, that's gonna go. But it's probably going to take like maybe 1 or 2 more vlogs before I'm fully done with all of that excess footage. And then the vlogs are essentially going to be like very fat free. Like I'm going to cut the fat out of those videos for you guys to hopefully make them more interesting, but also to make them more digestible for me with editing them and trying to manage everything else. Speaking of everything else, oh my God, today I'm going to be really busy. Like I've got a lot of real life stuff going on that I might end up talking about at some point. It's in relation to, you know, my life and condo living and all that stuff. And I don't know, it's kind of very personal stuff. So it's like, I don't know if I should talk about it publicly. So I'll kind of reserve that and sit on that for a while. But anyways, suffice to say, as far as video games are concerned, there's a lot. Oh, there's so much. First of all, the Trove update. It can drop any day now. Like it could be, again, it could be this week, it could be next week, it could be the week after, it might even be a month away for all I know. But suffice to say, when this update drops, I am actually going to be very addicted to it because I already still very, very much like and love Trove. It's just when the Mystic Gems get added, oh boy, I finally have something to grind, and I love grinding. I'm really excited for it. That's the point. But you probably already also noticed that I ended up going back to Path of Exile 2. And I had one stream that I made public, the other one I made members only. And that's because, if I'm being perfectly honest, it's going to be one of those games that I just chip away in the back. I don't have the ability to no life a game anymore. And unfortunately, Path of Exile 2 kind of expects that, at least in terms of content creation and rushing to the end game. And if I'm being honest, I don't really find Path of Exile 2 as interesting as it initially was. I've had videos that have talked about this, like the inventory issues, the minion issues, you know, because I like playing a summoner in that game and so on. And with this new league, which is basically, you know, the whole server resetting and adding a couple really nice new quality of life mechanics, including an actual an actual marketplace, you know, an in-game market instead of having to use like external websites and stuff like that. It's basically like Trove Market, but it's in Path of Exile now. All of that stuff and more is what I'm excited about. But grinding through the first 3 acts of the game again is just such a slog that I'm just not interested. And so I ended up doing a second stream of Path of Exile. And then right after that, I was just like, I don't even want to cover this game, man. Like there's still going to be some videos that I'll end up making on the game and on the updates. Like I'll make a video talking about the new stash tabs and how the marketplace works and some new guides and junk like that. But as far as just grinding the game, like maybe when I get to Act 4, I would start streaming it again for you guys. But generally speaking, I don't really have that much time that I can commit to Path of Exile when I've already got quite a few games on the channel that I'm running that I consider Infinium games. So this is kind of how I approach content. Let's take a seat here and take a moment. There are games that I can potentially play forever on the channel. Trove is one of them. Helldivers is a personal favorite of mine that I don't really cover that much on the channel. I don't know how interested you guys would be in watching me play it, but suffice to say there is a huge update coming to that game today that I'm very excited for, and maybe I'll stream it later tonight. We'll see. Otherwise, I'll just play it with my friends. Path of Exile is another one of those games on top of that potentially has infinite content, but I can't get behind the idea of constantly resetting all of my progress, especially when grinding through the game is such a slog. Like, I really wish they would take advantage of the fact that the game is early access and they're trying to test stuff by allowing us players, similarly to Trove's test server, to just kind of skip progression and to actually get to the meaty bits of the update. So my long-term plan for Path of Exile, as I mentioned, I'm gonna have some videos here and there focusing on like either highlights or tutorials and junk like that. Maybe a highlight video of me going through Act 4 rather than doing a live stream. But then long-term, I think I'm just gonna wait for 1.0. And when 1.0 comes out, I'm more than likely going to start a new character on the standard server and then just stay on the standard server forever. Because I'm the type of person, I have never enjoyed starting a game again. Like there's an example that I constantly give you guys in my live streams over the years where I talk about how my brother and I ended up approaching games like Morrowind or Oblivion or Skyrim. So my brother would be the type where he would always just start a new character and tackle like maybe he would start like a fighter character. He would go through the Fighters Guild. Then he would start a new character as a thief and go through the Thieves Guild. For me, I was the opposite. I was the type where I would have one character that I would then tackle the Fighters Guild and continue with that character into the Thieves Guild and slowly just build up and be kind of a jack of all trades in those types of games. That's just what I find fun. And so when it comes to Path of Exile, I think the idea of staying on the standard league, the standard server or whatever, and just perpetually getting stronger and stronger and even potentially maxing out my level, I think that is like so much more exciting and engaging for me instead of, oh, here's a new seasonal content that you have to start from the beginning. You know, kind of like how Fortnite constantly resets, but Fortnite is very different because you don't really have progression. You just have the battle pass. Long story short, that's why Path of Exile is gonna be on the channel, but it's gonna be a back burner game. And once it gets to 1.0 and I can just stay on the standard server forever, frankly speaking, I think that that's gonna be a game that I could potentially just keep playing on the channel because I think that would just be so fun. Like the idea that I can invest in something and actually see a return in that gets me really excited and pumped that I'm just getting my character stronger and stronger and stronger and getting them closer to like my own view of perfection with whatever build I want to end up using. But the idea of constantly resetting every few months is just, it knocks all the wind out of my sails. But then on the opposite side of that spectrum, we have what I call one and dones. These are games that you beat and then uninstall and potentially never play again. So over these past few months, I had been making videos talking about, here's all the games that are coming out this month that I'm excited about. I'm still going to do one for September, and I'll see if I can get that uploaded today or tomorrow. But suffice to say, I wanted to kind of clue you guys in right now in a couple of the games that I really plan on playing, which there's going to be Chronos: The New Dawn. Apparently that's September 5th, unless I got the date wrong. It is kind of a third-person horror game being made by the people who made the Silent Hill 2 remake. But then we also have like a couple indie games I'm really interested in. Later in the month, we have the Assassin's Creed Shadows DLC. We have Silent Hill F, so that's 2 horror games within this month. That's not to say that there aren't more games coming that I do plan on playing, but I'm just saying that those are kind of the main ones where they're one and dones, which basically means that when they come out, I'm going to take my time with it and just kind of beat them and then move on. All the while trying to balance all of this other stuff. Those are games that I can very, very easily stream because a one and done means that we constantly have forward momentum. And that's something that I've talked about in my Trove streams as well. And what I love about Trove is the idea of positive forward momentum. I'm constantly on the move. I'm constantly adding items to my inventory and steadily getting like more accumulated content. That to me is what's fun and probably why starting fresh is not really ideal for me, which is why the New Beginnings series for Trove ended up having an abrupt end. Now that said, I'm still looking forward to playing Trove when it gets on the Nintendo Switch 2, because then I can have like that as a New Beginnings series on the side of my main content, which is still going to be me at the end game. I know a lot of you guys want to see me at the beginning of the game, but frankly speaking, I don't have the time commitment that I can dedicate to that because Baby Leon and life stuff. Quick recap with Baby Leon. This month, he's going to be 6 months old. Crazy how fast time flies. And he's kind of transitioning from that phase of apologies, useless baby to more conscious and awake and aware of the world baby. And my God, it's so much more fun. Like now that I can actually play with him and make him laugh, like, you know, it's not like at that point yet where he's like walking and talking and junk, but he'll mumble, he'll coo a lot and just be like, bah, 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 bah. Like he's clearly talking. He's just talking in baby language. And it's a lot of fun, but it also means that he's steadily requiring more and more of my attention throughout the day. So whereas I used to be able to kind of just strap him onto me and then just like record or, you know, do various things on the channel or even just edit videos and stuff. Like I could get a little bit of work done. Not anymore. Now he demands like so much of my attention and he kind of gets bored when I'm like just sitting here doing stuff. There is the option that when I have him attached to me, I've experimented with having him face forward and he does like watching me play video games, but I worry that maybe it'll be too overstimulating for him, you know, the whole ADD thing and screen time and so on and so forth. I've heard that it's different because he's actively doing it with me versus if he was just on his own watching an iPad. That's bad parenting, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm ever going to like follow through with that. Like maybe, how should I put this? It's not bad parenting. It's just something that is very easy to do. And I don't think that parenting should be easy. You know, it's easy to just throw a screen in front of a kid and have them be distracted by everything. But then you hear those horror stories, and this is an extreme example of the point that I'm trying to make because I don't want to pass judgment to those of you watching if you do just give your baby screen time. It's not like it's the end of the world. It's more so those parents that have screen time and then they're not involved. And then like, you know, something happens and then they're like mad at the person the child was watching or what happened with the child, you know, stuff like that, where it's like, bro, that's just irresponsible parenting. It's not necessarily screen time issues, but it also is related to screen time. Anyways, it doesn't matter, okay? My philosophy towards raising baby is just going to be raising baby the way that I think I should raise baby. And I think that rather than giving him screen time, I'm just gonna chill with him and give him attention instead. As he gets older, it's actually going to get easier, I think, because then I'll be able to like play with him and go outside. And when he can walk, you know, you always hear like these, anytime I end up talking with these other parents, they're always like, oh yeah, he's fun now, but when he can start running around and trying to escape from you. And it's like, that's not a problem. Like, I think it's gonna be a lot more fun because, you know, I'm a very active and involved parent. It's just the type of person that I am. Like lately, the wife and I have been taking baby Leon to the swimming pool, and he doesn't like it, but he doesn't dislike it. He's starting to get the hang of it and starting to enjoy it. He's not swimming by any means. We're like just holding him while we're in the pool and such. But you know, all the other parents are always saying like, oh yeah, wait until he can start wandering over to the deep end and stuff. And it's like, yeah. And then I'm going to be watching him like a hawk and probably beside him, annoying him. I tell you, when he's going through his adolescence phase and teenagehood, he's going to hate me because I'm going to be so involved. But I also know that that is an evolution of my relationship with him when it gets to that point where I need to trust him. And to the point, you know, I'll trust him, but I'll also acknowledge like how stupid people are when they're kids. Like, let's be real. We all used to be idiots. I'm still an idiot and I'm an adult man-child. Anyways, this went a little bit off topic. The other big game too, I guess I should mention, is Silksong in a couple of days, which yes, I'm going to play that. Unfortunately, if that Chronos game does come out September 5th, it means that Silksong and Chronos are right beside each other. So it's going to be like a lot for me to juggle on top of whenever the Trove update drops. I'm by no means trying to like say any of this with negative energy or in a way that I'm like complaining. It's a really exciting time for me. I personally am very, very happy with where the channel's at right now and how I've been handling my content. There's a couple little things here and there that I want to tweak, but it's nothing really worth mentioning. I guess the one last thing that I should mention, which will be more apparent in the vlogs, and you know, I haven't really talked about it that much in the streams and so on and so forth, but the wife and I are going to be having our annual trip to Japan at the end of October going into November, and we're actually going to be gone for 19 days, which is a It's a pretty long trip and it kind of stresses me out because that means that I have to get 19 days worth of videos, essentially 19 videos like ready and done and scheduled while I'm away. Why don't you just treat it like a vacation and have a break? I wish I could, but I'm not a big enough channel that I can just leave for a month, come back and have the views be just fine. I have to constantly keep uploads going, otherwise my channel fades into obscurity. And in fact, it already kind of still tries to do that constantly because the algorithm is garbo. Again, I'm not complaining about it, it's just a lot of work that I've already started working on. And once again, to break the fourth wall and give you guys full transparency, I don't think that I could stock up 19 Trove videos. There's the idea that I could do 18 different class guides, you know, focusing on the changes to the characters and more particularly once we get to 50k PR. Sure, I'll definitely end up tackling those class guide videos, but those videos take me an absurdly long time to make because I not only have to gather all of this information, make sure it's all correct, but then editing those videos is kind of a nightmare because they're also very, I want to say soul crushing because they're extremely repetitive. Because while you might watch a knight guide video and then a pirate guide video and it'll just be like, he's just saying the same thing over and over again. Yes, I am, but you gotta understand that not everyone is watching every single one of the class guide videos. It's usually somebody who's focusing on one specific class is gonna watch their one specific class guide. So there's a lot of things that I just end up repeating, like, oh, here's how you build up the magic damage and here's the skill tree and stuff. Frankly speaking, my 45k guide videos are still relevant today. So there's not really much point in me making new class guides yet, at least until I've gotten fully maxed out Mystic Gems and Mystic Gear, or at the very least am at 50k PR. But that is also something that's going to take me an absurdly long time to do. So there might be a quick video of like me at 50k PR with the Boomer or the Shadow Hunter or a class that I already have a lot of experience with and can very easily just get myself that strong within like a couple months, probably a couple weeks, let's be real. But chipping away at every single class is just, it's too big of a project for me to try and get planned now in September for November. So I potentially have two options. One is that instead of recording videos for 19 days, I could cut that in half and just have a video go up every second day. That would save me a lot of time and effort on creating content, and we'll see what I can manage. Two, and this is what I've already been working on, I'm making Minecraft videos. I am stocking up and I am getting a lot of I think unique Minecraft videos where I'm going to be playing Minecraft Bedrock and I'm going to be playing through a bunch of different adventure maps. They're very organic videos where I'll be playing on one map and then if I get bored within that same video, I'll just swap to a completely different map. I've been having a lot of fun with them. I think it's something that I can very easily make a bulk of recording for because it's also fresh and new and again, has that forward momentum that I'm obsessed with as a person. But that's the thing is the Trove content might slow down during those 19 days. The channel is essentially going to become a Minecraft channel unless I just so happen to have a couple Trove tutorials and stuff here and there to sprinkle in. Lord knows there's plenty of guides that I can make and updated guides that I can make, but those do require a lot more effort because it's a lot more important that I get everything right in those videos. You know what I mean? The Minecraft videos are going to be more so of a let's play experience where I'm just playing the game and sharing my experience of that. They're going to have heavy cuts though. Don't worry about that. But anyways, in October, Ghost of Yote is on the 2nd. Okay, cool. That one I'll be able to squeeze in before I go on my trip. Little Nightmares 3 is October 10th. I don't know if I'm going to end up playing through that one right away. We'll see. Battlefield 6, I could care less. Borderlands 4, everyone keeps asking. I also could care less. And that's on the 16th, which is way too close to my trip. The point I'm getting at is that as of right now, I can confidently say that the last big game I'm going to play before I go on my trip is going to be Ghost of Yote on the channel. But we don't know what surprises might come out during that time, and we don't really have any games listed for a November release yet, which means there's probably going to be a lot of surprises. In any case, I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a longer one. I know it was a rantier one, but there was a lot of things that I kind of wanted to address and talk about with you guys. I guess the main reason is because I feel like the Trove content is probably gonna slow down a little bit until the new update drops. Just because there's not really many things that I can kind of cover right now other than just streaming every now and then. And as I mentioned, I'm trying to manage like bulk recording Minecraft videos and a bunch of other side projects. I don't always have time to stream. But anyway, I would appreciate if you would leave a like, subscribe for more if you haven't already and you happen to be new and checking this video out randomly. And then otherwise you have yourselves a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen. Sayonara, and stay epic as always.